In this session, we're going to be working with building our own customized Google Analytics dashboard. This is the standard dashboard up here, which you can get to by either going to the toolbar and choosing reporting or going to audience and choosing overview, and you'll get this basic dashboard. We've talked about this in previous sessions. This is a very useful dashboard that gives you the more basic metrics involved in looking at the end user's behavior on your site. You've got the chunk of time you're dealing with up here and a pull down to manipulate that time. You've got a graph of the number of sessions just below that, your basic metrics here on the left, and then a pie chart on the right for new visitors and returning visitors. And then down here, demographics such as language, country, city, what browser and operating system they're using, and browser and operating systems for mobile devices. This is not the only dashboard available to you, however. Google offers you a number of templates for dashboards that carry more specific information and different kinds of information than are covered in this basic overview, and you can also customize and create your own dashboards. To do so, you go to the upper left here, choose Dashboards, and you'll see Private and New Dashboard just below that. This Private tab contains all the dashboards that I've already created. Here is my dashboard, the one I actually use on my own, the number of sessions as a metric, number of users as a graph, the bounce rate as a graph and by percentage, and then 3 goals that I've created on my own, and we'll talk about this in future lessons. This goal is the number of people who have visited the Community and Economic Development page. This goal are people who have been on the site over a minute by percentage, and the number of people who have visited 3 pages or more on the site by percentage. Over here on the right column, I have session duration by page, telling me those pages that people stay on the longest, and then the bounce rate by page, which shows us which pages cause the end users to bounce off that page and go to another site entirely. Each little bit of data here, whether it's a metric, whether it's a graph, or whether it's a crosstab, is called a widget. And I'll talk about how to build a widget from scratch in a later lesson. For now, I'll just show you some basic manipulation, which is you can drag them by using the header. You can also hover over the header, delete them by clicking the X, or edit them by clicking the little pencil. And this dialog box will come up, and this is how you also build a widget from scratch by using this dialog box. The other 3 private dashboards here are template dashboards that I've brought in that have been already created by Google: the Content Analysis Dashboard, the Site Performance Dashboard, and then sort of the starter bundle of dashboards, which is actually what I used and then modified to create my own dashboard right here. The way to create any of these is to go to the New Dashboard link and click it, and you'll get this dialog box. The blank canvas is quite literally that. It's a blank canvas from which you then add your own widgets to. The starter dashboard is a basic bundle of widgets that Google feels would be useful for you. You click that and then click Create Dashboard, putting your own title there if you like. We'll leave Untitled Dashboard there and simply click Create Dashboard. And this is a very basic set of metrics that Google feels might be useful to you. You can then take these widgets, delete them, move them around, and then add your own. Notice that after creating this now shows up on my list of private dashboards. To delete this, I just make sure it's selected and click Delete Dashboard, then hit Delete. The other 3 dashboards, Content Analysis, Site Performance, and Starter, are all generated by pulling in templates. So we'll once again click the New Dashboard option, and we'll click Import from Gallery, and the gallery loads. You can filter by category or by ranking. Just by looking at all of them, however, we can see that Occam's Razor Awesomeness is always the #1 template, mostly because it sounds so cool. I'm not so sure it's actually a very useful template, but it is a fun title. If we move down here just a little bit, we'll see the big 2, at least in my own personal opinion, the Content Analysis Dashboard and the Site Performance Dashboard. Now, my own content analysis and site performance dashboards are slightly different than these because I have manipulated them somewhat, but the basics are right here. I'll click Content Analysis. I can read the description if I like. I then click Import, click Create. I can rename it there if I like. And then here's the basic content analysis dashboard that gives you mostly crosstabs, page views and unique page views by the actual page title, the visits and number of new visits by landing page, the average time on a page and bounce rate for those pages, the exits and page views by page, the contact page, which is my number one goal completion, and then the conversion rate on that goal. And again, we'll talk about goals in a later lesson. And then finally, page views by country and page views by city. And you'll notice that my own content analysis dashboard is slightly different as I've added a few widgets and I've deleted a few widgets. So these are the content analysis bits that I am personally most interested in. The site performance dashboard is more a set of metrics on how quickly your site loads onto people's browsers. You go to the New Dashboard option, choose Import from Gallery, and then a little ways down you'll see the site performance dashboard. Click Import, give it a new name if you like, and click Create. And this gives you various metrics on how fast it takes these pages to load. The average page load time, the average page load time for mobile devices, average server response time, and so on. Of all these metrics, the two that I personally find most useful are both in the middle column, the page load time by browser and load time for popular pages. The page load time by browser lets you know which browsers are most efficient at pulling up the page, and we learned that the slowest browser is Internet Explorer. The fastest is a tie between Firefox and Safari, with Chrome kind of showing up between the two at 1.7 seconds. And just below that is the load time for popular pages. You might want to look at this if the page load time is starting to get rather long. For instance, the German-Russian index page here becomes rather long. That is a clue that you have either too many graphics on that page or perhaps a slideshow with a number of different images on that page. So take an occasional look at your load times for popular pages to make sure that your images, which are usually the reason for a long load time, are not making that load time inordinately long.